Can I tell you guys a story?
Please.
Of course.
So, been, moved into this place in Burbank for a couple of years, and always meant to clean out my shed. And
I've seen that
last
shed.
weekend. Oh yeah, you've seen the shed. When you came to visit, I was like, Paul, you got to see this shed.
There were murder. It was filled with murder instruments.
It very much.
I'm picturing a bad shed. I'm picturing not a scary shed.
A rickety metal shed filled with rusty tools that came with the place.
Okay.
And last weekend I was like, I'm finally gonna go through this. And Heidi was out working. I texted her like, Heidi, I found a puzzle box in here, like a Necronomicon puzzle box, a Hellraiser puzzle box. You gotta come back. And my partner loves puzzles, loves spooky stuff. She was like, don't touch it. Let me wait till I get back. And she went through it and immediately dived into it. I was like, well, we can take some time to kind of, figure it out. There's a lot of levers and notches and circles and it's very intimidating. Something you'd see in Resident Evil. There was even a weird, poem inscribed in the back of it, talking about like a bond via metal and voice and, a choice that would come if they opened the box. Heidi felt no fear there. She opened it up within 30 minutes and found a ring inside. I proposed to her, and now I'm engaged.
Hey!
You guys already knew.
We knew this. So we're good actors. We're such good actors that that people believed our. We're good. We're very good at that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys the embarrassing parts of the proposal though? Because that was the story version, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. Me buying the puzzle box online for and then trying to open it, it took me weeks to open the puzzle box. And then just to plant the ring and the poem.
Of course.
And wouldn't you know it? So I went down a rabbit hole I hadn't done before of puzzle box YouTubers. Of course that's a thing.
Yeah.
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 And
makes sense.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, especially the Germans.
Oh, yeah. Well, frustratingly, they'll never show you how they did it. They're just like, hey, y'all, welcome to Puzzle Kid 808. Here I am with a new puzzle box. It looks really cool. It's level 9 puzzle box. I'm excited to get into it. Let's get into it. And then proceeds to just fast forward time lapse while they solve it.
You know what? I don't think a single one of them have ever solved a puzzle, and I'm here to call them out on it right now.
Whoa.
I think they're all phonies.
I think they want you to subscribe to their Patreon where they'll show you the step-by-step instructions.
See the solution.
Yeah. So many nights, I'm scrolling through it frame by frame, like, okay, it seems like he put his thumb there on this part and pushed it, I think. I don't know. Oh, my God, why are you fast-forwarding this? Eventually figured it out.
If you want my money, show me the dark pact you made. On camera in real time, Germans.
Totally. Actually, I think this was a German puzzle box. I think that whoever made this, the guy's name,
dude.
If you want to look up, it's called a Viking puzzle box.
Okay, I do want to look it up.
Is what we
okay.
use.
Well, and you were feeling a little down on yourself that it took you so long and that Heidi did it so quickly. But I thought a great point. Especially now in this new stronger union that you've forged. Should you be shrunken or banished to a small person, like a little tiny version of yourself, plane of existence, and stuck inside of a puzzle box? Yeah, if you get turned into tiny Chad, mini Chad, Infismo
borrower's Chad, like
if you get turned into a smaller version of yourself and stuck inside of a puzzle box, Heidi's got you.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Chad, remember that time you got damseled because you got shrunk down real tiny and you got trapped inside that puzzle box, and Paul and I tried to get you out, and it took us, I don't know, like a couple months. We should have just called Heidi.
It was really rough for me. You guys had to smush like cheese through the holes in the box.
Yeah, we were dunking it in water, and whatever leaked through got to you. And then you said that you taught us that whatever kind of wood it was made of had some sort of sustaining value, which you were chipping it off and eating the wood chips.
Yeah.
And for a while we thought, well, if we just keep this going, then you'll just eat through the box eventually. But you got tired of eating wood chips. So.
Then we gave the box to Heidi, and Heidi solved it in 5 minutes.
Heidi solved it immediately, and then that's how I met Heidi.
Yeah.
What a weird turn to the backstory.
Well, we contacted every German YouTube puzzle box expert, and none of them could solve it because they're all phonies. And then Heidi, who also was a fan and also learned that they were all phonies, came in and was the only true puzzle box expert in the world, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Unless another non-pretender will step forward.
And we weren't going to give $2 to a Patreon just to hear the solution to a puzzle, all right? Like, we're not that dumb, but it did take us months.
All right, so Viking Puzzle Box, is it by Kubia Games?
Yes, Kubia Games is where I got it. We are not sponsored. Designed by one guy who had a very German...
Whoa, it's got,
North
balls.
Atlantic.
There's balls in it.
Very satisfying. I also want to share that. So I think I'm a better writer than I am a graphic designer. I wrote a pretty sweet poem on the back.
Let's hear it.
But when she discovered it, I was hoping she'd be generally spooked by it because I was definitely leaning into like, this is a cursed box. We don't know. And then she was like, well, now I'm not scared because what Ghost writes in Calibri typewriter? And I'm like, oh, I should have done better graphic design on the font.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Props to Heidi. I'm pretty font blind.
She immediately called us like, fuck, I am bad at graphic design and font selection. Damn it.
Calibri's a good choice, though.
No, but the thing is, she wasn't even accurate. It was American typewriter, okay? It was American typewriter. I picked one that seemed like it could have been written in the past of America when we had typewriters.
I don't know how many levels there are, but the one that I'm seeing here, which is the one I'm assuming you got for Heidi, is level 9 grueling.
Yeah. No, I picked as hard as I could find. And it was hard on me, and she just immediately just solved it, rationalized it, and got it out. I kind of thought the whole weekend would be like us slowly picking at it, and then like I could like really savor the build up, and then like I don't know, I'd put on like some nice clothes when I actually got to propose and everything. I was just wearing like sweaty gym shorts because she just like figured it out immediately. I was like right then and there. So. We are betrothed.
It would be really funny if you had to dress nice for a week and like have champagne ready to go, like just
continuously, opening it, pouring it out when it's not the right time.
And Heidi's like, "Why do you keep dressing up?" And you're like, "I don't know what this ghost is going to be like. I want to make a good impression."
If you're thinking about future anniversary presents, my brother-in-law is super into puzzles, and for his birthday one year, I got him lockpicking tools and just a box of locks with no keys off of eBay. And I was like, here you go. Now the entire world is your puzzle. And he got
I guess I didn't realize those were legal to get. I don't know why for some reason I thought you'd have to like go through a government thing to get lockpicking tools.
Nope, safety's an illusion. You can just learn how to pick locks.
Wait, I thought that... No, I think they're... Well, I think you can buy them, but I think if you have one, you can get in trouble for having them. My uncle was telling me this.
Or like a key copier machine. There's something about that. Like if you go to a locksmith.
I love legal buds. I love
My uncle told me...
I love when we speculate on what the law is.
My uncle and my personal lawyer told me that it is illegal to have a lockpicking kit.
Considering we focus on locks and booby traps, we really specialize in like home entry is our legal area of expertise.
I'm fairly sure because I just bought them online, like from a website. I think you can just get lockpicking tools.
I choose to never know the truth. Let's never know.
This may scare you, but locks only keep honest people honest.
Damn! Oh my god!
You know who could have used a better lock? Was Steven Urkel.
Oh, man.
He locked away his wooden dummy in this episode.
Guess we're not talking about Dan to Dan.
Oh, fuck, we're going to talk about Dan to Dan?
Guess we're not talking about Dan to Dan.
Oh, my God. Oh, shit. Well, I guess Paul, we do that on Camp Goosebuds.
I was going to say the plutonium atom should have had a better lock on it.
Sorry, what are you referencing, Paul?
He's referencing nuclear war.
Go on.
Oh, just the general idea. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I wish it had a better lock on it.
Paul knows lots of people with their finger on the button of a nuclear missile are listening to our podcast right now.
And I'm trying to make them feel a little bit, just feel a little sad, like a little guilty about having their finger on that button.
Yeah. Maybe take the finger off the button, guys. Maybe we talk it out.
Use your words, guys.
Welcome to Goosebuds. We'll talk about Dan to Dan at Camp Goosebuds.
Yeah, we will. Guys, take your finger off the button. It's a family matter now.
Whoa, nice, Paul.
Thank you.
Paul?
Thank you.
That's
That's why you
What
guys.
about my lock transition? That was a pretty good one.
I don't know. We'll see if it makes the edit. I don't know.
He's got 2 choices now, so we'll figure out who the favorite son is, Chad.
Speaking of fonts from earlier, that Family Matters font. I noticed. I don't know about you guys. How you watched it? I watched it on Max.
Yeah.
They changed the traditional font from like the more wholesome like yellow serif font
to
what
red.
looks like wacky Halloween candy font. I don't know if it was just for that, but it's even for the entire show, not this episode.
They didn't have the theme song in this one.
You're right. They didn't have the theme song. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, cold open. Chad, now you're picking up on fonts?
Now you're not Bonbon?
now I've really changed my priorities. Yeah, welcome to Goosebuds, by the way.
Oh yeah, hello. Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm one of your co-hosts. That's Paul. I'm one of your co-hosts, Chad. And
I'm Kevin.
And I think this is my fault that we covered Family Matters.
Why are you? What is that? What is that hedging you're doing? Don't hedge.
There was a period of time in the middle of watching this episode where I was like, I feel like Paul and Kevin are going to be really mad at me that I asked them to watch this. This is pretty rough.
I am a Family Matters scholar, Chad. You may know from past episodes of this show that we have discussed the missing episodes of the show. I know all of the secret episodes of Family Matters.
Whoa.
That's true. We used to talk a lot about secret episodes. Yeah, with Dami. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first full episode of Family
You've never watched Family Matters before?
I always kind of flipped the channel away. No offense. I wanted to watch the adult shows. I wanted to watch Just Shoot Me and other syndicated television.
Well,
what's more adult than this episode? In fact, it starts with a cold open of Urkel talking to the camera.
Oh yeah.
Saying, watch out. This episode is very scary. You should watch it with an adult or someone who's brave.
And he's with 2 children who I don't know who they are. I didn't watch this far into the show to have any idea who these kids were. Who are these kids?
Yeah, I'm confused. It seems like one of them is at least... I was also confused by the fact that at some point Urkel has moved into the house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's not normal. Just so you know.
Okay,
Kevin.
I was wondering about this as well because Urkel is not part of this family. They have taken Urkel in.
No. A point that I think Carl Winslow has probably pointed out multiple times, that Urkel has embedded himself in this family because he's in love with Laura.
Okay.
Who we see briefly in this episode.
Yeah. Urkel was the neighbor for a while, the annoying neighbor.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't remember when I checked out.
He just took off as a character. I think they were just like, well, he's so popular. We need to stop coming up with reasons for why Urkel will come over to just being like, can Urkel live in the house?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know how he got into the house is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what.
Oh, sure.
Like, I don't know what unfolded because I stopped watching the show. I don't remember how long I went watching the show. I was in it for a while. But you know what I did? What am I saying? I didn't stop watching. I'm the greatest Family Matters scholar of all time. I chose to. I chose to block those parts out.
You know what you did, Paul? I'm going to bail you out. Yeah, you took a different critical eye to it, so therefore you stopped watching Family Matters as a boy and started watching it as a scholar.
Yes, in my readings of the show, I've taken a different. I'm a little bit more metatextual at this point of the show.
Now, I am not a scholar on either of these shows, but has it been noted before that Family Matters appears to be the inverse of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Where our main character, instead of being intensely cool, is a big old dweeb. Maybe,
and I don't know what years did Fresh Prince run? Because this is started in '89.
I'm sure there was some overlap. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if they ever did a crossover. You know, like Fresh Prince meeting Steve Urkel. That would have broken the TV.
Urkel was certainly on Full House, and maybe Step by Step, but definitely Full House.
Fresh Prince and Family Matters only crossed over in that one arcade beat 'em up where they joined up like Double Dragon.
Oh yeah, Family Splatters.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Honestly though, a 90s sitcom beat 'em up would be so fucking good. Like, so you got Urkel, you got Fresh Prince. I want to put Archie Bunker in there, even just as a 70s pull. Really, he's really more like DLC.
Archie should be a villain.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah, he's one of the. Oh yeah, it's like '90s generation family shows fighting '70s and '80s family shows.
Yeah,
I'm
like
cool with
Fonzie could be a villain because he's an older one. I think Fonzie.
Oh yeah,
Fonzie
yeah.
should be a boss that is on. Once you defeat him, becomes a part of the main fighting roster.
Sure, I'm okay with that. Yeah. You got. I think you'd have to put in. I mean, I'm gonna say "Just Shoot Me, Kevin." I don't know if it fully fits. I don't know. We can put "Just Shoot Me."
It's different though, right? Like it's a different vibe. Like "Just Shoot Me," News Radio, Frasier. These are like the adult sitcoms, and then Family Matters.
Yeah, this would be more like, oh my god, Tim Allen. You'd have Tim in there. Who else would be in that '90s one? I'm just thinking of the ABC Family lineups. You'd probably have.
That's So Raven.
Comet from Full House.
Sure.
Yep, Sister. Yeah, you got them all. Like
cousin Cody from Step by Step. He did karate in the show.
I think Sister. Oh, that'd be great. I think Sister also would be kind of like an Ice Climbers thing where you play as both at the same time.
Without a doubt.
Throw some more Disney Channel stuff in there. Throw some Brotherly Love in there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Brotherly Love?
Yes. I watched a little Brotherly Love, not too much.
It's set in Philly because that's the city.
Wait, Brotherly Love?
Yeah, Brotherly Love. It was Disney Channel. It might have been. You might have been too.
It was
old.
I was. Yeah, those three brothers. The Lawrence,
three.
Joey Lawrence and the other Lawrences.
Yeah, the extra Lawrences. Yeah, Brotherly Love.
I never saw this show. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. What?
That's fascinating for Paul to have this blind spot in his Philadelphia history.
Oh, it was on the WB. I wasn't a WB.
Was it on the WB? I thought it was on Disney.
It was NBC. Everything ended up on the WB at some point. I was definitely a WB watcher. Yeah, what am I talking about?
So it's funny because Family Matters is like matters of the family, but it's also like a message, like family matters.
It does
matters. Make sure you appreciate the family.
Family's what you make of it too. It's not just who you're born with, it's who you choose too. And that's why Urkel is a chosen family member. Not by Carl, but by everybody else.
But sometimes there's an unexpected member of the family.
Yes, there is.
It puts the whole balance of nature out of whack.
Well, before we get into the episode, which we will talk, so we're talking about the episode, it was episode 8, season 8, episode 7, from the year 1996. This is deep in the run of Family Matters.
This is way far into, I think Family Matters has the most distinction of like, it went off the rails based on popularity and no one caring and just like Urkelmania allowing it to become this very different show than it originally was about.
Yeah, this episode is well beyond the shark jump. This is clearly the shark is dead that was jumped over. It's been long dead.
This is really, if you hadn't jumped the shark, this would be lightning struck the dummy.
The shark's son that was born before it or after it had already been jumped is now legally old enough to be jumped again in this episode. Just wanted to ask you guys what you thought. So Steve Urkel, we know him, we love him. Yeah.
Jaleel White, aka Sonic the Hedgehog.
He a great character. Very famous, very fun. Do you think that he was pulling a little Kramer energy in this one? I felt like he was a little Kramery.
Yeah, this episode is basically like all on the back of the effects and Jaleel White's physical comedy, and he was trying something.
I don't know. I respectfully disagree. I thought he was really not delivering on the physical comedy in this. I thought he was really phoning it in.
I mean, I'm saying if the physical comedy was a little cleaner, it would probably be a more legendary episode. But it's a lot of like the laugh track doesn't do it any service to like modern taste, to the taste of today, because every funny thing has to be like held on. Like he'll strike a funny pose and then mug at the camera, and then like you'll get like the laugh track, the canned laugh or whatever, and it's like it doesn't really work for me. It is like kind of cozy and comforting in a kitschy way.
It is like, cozy, yeah.
It doesn't really, the physical comedy itself is not particularly strong.
No. I was also kind of curious how you guys felt. I clocked, obviously, the audience laughter as well. It felt a little less canned. It felt live, but like recorded live. Does that make sense?
Well, there were a lot of different like reactions. Like I was always interested to hear how the crowd reacts because I was like, how am I supposed to react to some of this? Like sometimes it's like laughter at the scares. Sometimes it's like, whoa,
There were
like
gasps.
Yeah, there were a couple of gasps that were. I felt like those had to be inserted, right? Because there's no way anybody was scared.
You know, I don't know. There were a couple times the crowd was like, "Woo, we love this," and I was like, "That I don't know. That only comes from a '90s audience that is being fed oxygen into the studio, and they're high on sugar water, and they are. I don't even know if they are there as much as they were watching it, and then they were like on a TV and then recording their laughter. I could be wrong, but there was one time where the titular line, not the titular line, but I remember this was in the ad for the episode on ABC. Was Steve going, "This dummy ain't no dummy," and there was like silence and one person in the audience going, "Ha ha."
Well, wait. This dummy ain't no dummy. Isn't that just straight up a Slappy line?
I don't know.
Well, this is what we should get into is...
Well, this
I know,
is definitely...
Yeah, what came first?
The story of this is 100% a Night of the Living Dummy storyline, right? Including the fake out endings, the double fake out ending, which I'm spoiling right here, right now.
Yeah, this is definitely like Goosebumps core. Like this is it has everything, the parents who deny everything, the fake outs, it was all a dream, like spoilers if you're trying to experience this Family Matters episode through an hour and a half long podcast, but I figure you just watch the 22 minutes.
Let's lay the groundwork for this episode of Stevil, which is very much Goosebumps, right? And I do want to talk later about how much was this just, well, we can see that kids are doing Slappy everywhere, like merchandise and Goosebumps blowing up, and they just stole this 3 years later? Because I don't know how much this is an original idea before Slappy. Like, there's always been haunted dolls, right? There's Chucky.
Yeah.
But, like, a haunted ventriloquist doll feels so uniquely of an era of Goosebumps. Yeah.
If you go to the Family Matters wiki, which is, as a scholar of Family Matters, they pretty de facto, it's missing a lot of the missing episodes, which is ironic.
They should update those.
They should be on top of that if they were really on top of their Family Matters game. But they do say Stevil was the main antagonist of the episode of the same name, which we watched, and Stevil 2, this time he's not alone. So there is a second Stevil episode for us to watch. He is apparently inspired by Chucky, the main character of Child's Play franchise, and Slappy, the main antagonist of the Goosebumps franchise. There is no citation for that, though.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, that's one. Paul, you really got to get in on this wiki and start moderating this. This is unsourced stuff.
Yeah.
This is what we do on the podcast. We make wild guesses.
Conjecture.
Yeah. We don't put it on a Wikipedia page.
Conjecture is for podcasts, not for Wikipedias, guys.
So Steven, who, if you guys are curious, by the way, I have been also on the wiki looking up when did Steven move in.
Oh yeah, when did that happen? What season?
Have found nothing concrete on when it changed, but I am reading, according to the wiki, that Steven has referenced his family multiple times, who were doctors, Dr. Herb and Diane Roberta Urkel.
Yep.
Herb Urkel?
Herb Urkel. Have nothing but the utmost contempt for him and do their part to avoid him at all times. In later episodes, it's revealed that they are paying Steven money to stay away from them.
Oh my god, that's totally fucked up.
I'm assuming the joke is like Urkel's just that annoying, but that's so sad. Like, that's really fucked up.
I feel like. So I'm in a new living situation right now, and I'm living with my friend and his wife, who's also my friend, and we've been trying to find something we can all like put on in the background and watch together because our tastes are all very different. Gilmore Girls has been in the background lately.
Oh, wow.
Oh man,
and I'm weirdly kind of into it.
Yeah, dude.
But there's like
I will follow. I'll be there. You know?
It's really strange. It's really strange how like. These writers think men talk to each other. Like, it's totally weird and wild. But there is like one character, Kirk, who is like the resident socially awkward, haha, look at this nerd type character. And I feel like that kind of character is like a through line from like Urkel to Kirk to Sheldon to young Sheldon. Like, there is this weird obsession with like the socially awkward, maybe on the spectrum, punching bag, but we shouldn't punch him kind of character. Like, like what is that? Like, what is America's obsession with that?
Steve Urkel is the punching bag. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that. This is the height of nerd punchdom, right?
Yeah, but also, I don't disagree, but also in later episodes, as Paul, you'll know as a scholar,
of course,
is that at some point the show, both out of boredom and it's, I think, kind of infamously Jaleel White wanting to not just be this dork as he's a giant celebrity, they give him so many different characters where either Urkel will go into a machine and transform into like his cool version, Stefan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw in the episode right after this one, the thumbnail shows Jaleel White dressed as Bruce Lee.
Yep.
He goes himself and gives himself a martial arts machine. This is a lot of like, well, now this character's so blown up, but like, we want to really let him stretch his legs. What if he was a pirate this episode? And, you know, Jaleel White's really bringing all he can to those characters.
I felt like, and I feel like this episode, Jaleel's doing, like you guys talked about with the physical humor, he's trying so hard. This episode, because of the nature of the special effects, is really, really cut up. Like, this thing is chopped to pieces. This is like a 2000s era sample music, right? Like,
this is a Marvel movie fight scene. This is a Netflix Iron Fist fight scene.
So okay, maybe that I'll understand. I found this so. I loved the cuts back and forth from traditional puppet to green screen puppet superimposed to the most horrifying parts of this entire episode is when Stevil comes alive. Sometimes it's just a little person wearing a mask.
I love
walking
those
around
parts.
on the set.
Love those parts, especially when it's a dancing sequence.
Yeah, oh my god, the actor in the Stevil costume is really, really good. Like he has amazing physicality. like he does the dance and like even just like moving around or like rolling or walking, like he moves in such like an uncanny way that it really sells the creepy puppet thing.
Yeah,
like
I kind of wish they had just gone with the actor.
So can we talk about the creepy puppet? Well, let's talk about that actor. I don't know if you guys watched the behind-the-scenes featurette afterwards.
I did.
And by behind-the-scenes featurette, you mean the 30 seconds of credit-covered footage with music and no sound that purports to be the making of this show, which is just...
yeah, the magic behind the Stevil.
It's just, there were puppets.
It's purely...
Well, no!
It's purely the don't be scared kids, this is all fake portion of the show. You
think that's why they showed it?
I think they showed it
afterwards, like kids
to demystify.
Yeah, to demystify it, so like kids wouldn't. I can see like a scaredy cat kid like myself being terrified of this episode. So like,
sure, I bet also there was some. Okay,
I think the demystifying nature of the end sequence is there. I liked seeing it. Honestly, that's kind of what endeared me to the show more than the actual like episode. Is the making of part. I thought it was actually like. Kind of like it's always fun to see that shit. Like I don't have a lot of experience with like how special effects happen. I can tell when a crappy special effect is happening, but it always looks fun. Like it always looks cool.
I think the other part of the behind the scenes thing is it shows that, you know, laborious process. You see the multiple Stevil heads. They had at least 2.5 Stevil heads, guys. I looked at and saw on the trivia. I mean, they do that thing where like you see like a stop motion or you know in Weta. They're like, here are the 20 different Mouth of Sauron heads we did, and then this one is just like, well, there's really just kind of 2.
It was a pan in profile, but it stopped at the second head, and there were no more heads. You're expecting there to be like 40 heads in a row, but there are just 2.
I mean,
yeah.
Hold on. Here, this is a great line right here in the trivia chat. I just need to put this in. I went to the trivia after you mentioned it. Number 1 trivia. On Family Matters Wiki. This episode was known to be one of the darkest episodes of Family Matters.
And it was.
Again, no citation, guys. Who's saying this?
Here's the one that I hope is cited, because I think this is actually the funnier part of that behind the scenes thing is, quote, due to the puppeteer work, this episode took longer to shoot than any other during the show's run. Well, that's understandable. How long would a normal episode go, do you think? Typical shooting days usually had more than one episode on the schedule. This episode required an entire shooting day with extensive post-production work. You telling me these motherfuckers were churning out 22 minutes in multiple 22 minutes in a day? That's crazy.
No digital, Chad. Film was expensive, so you had to rehearse and you had to like show up and do the thing because you were literally wasting tape.
No, I mean just more time. Just like cranking it out. Like, let's just get this shit out. The audience is going to eat it up. Eat the slop.
Professional stage actors going at it.
Yeah. Not well, but you know.
There are a couple of times where I'm like, you can see Reginald VelJohnson has just made peace with what he's doing in this episode. He is like, I am an accomplished actor.
He looks at the camera at one point and says, I was in Die Hard.
And then he goes, I shot a kid.
There is a lot of jimming the camera, isn't there?
There is a lot of jimming in this episode.
But I don't think that was how the show started, as I recall. I think the show evolved into wackiness a couple times.
Yeah, Steven Urkel definitely pulled this show down into the depths of wackiness, which I, as a child, loved. But I don't know that the performers in this show were as happy with that descent into wackiness. No,
there's an amazing Key and Peele sketch that also kind of hits the darkest version of that, if you guys haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Showing the rise and fall. It's like, did Jordan Peele like doing horror movies, I guess? Because he made this sketch a horror movie.
Yeah, that is a great one, yeah.
This feels very true to life on how it just evolved from a sitcom about family matters to the Steve Urkel show and his wacky contraptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of interesting to think about that this was not anything Steve did, right? I think in other episodes it'd be like Steve made a machine and it just got up to problems. This is really...
This is Steve being punished. This is punished.
Yeah, this is punishment. Like he wants...
he suffers at the hand of his own problem that he's created over 8 seasons.
But like his problem is just a wish. That's all it is.
Like, he's punished for being sad and wanting something. Like, what the fuck is that about?
Well, his sad wanting has destroyed Carl Winslow's peace and family life that he's worked so hard for.
Oh, you're saying like if you watch the entire show as a collective, this is payoff. But
this is a big
microcosm of this episode.
Yeah, this is a big punishment episode for him.
In this individual episode, Stephen is actually very innocent, where he's like, "Hey, family that I live with now, I still cannot find when he shifted over. Like, I keep waiting to find the story point of like his parents died in a horrible plane crash, and then he had to move in." I think the show just like ignored it. But Steve was like, hey, Winslows, I want to get into ventriloquism. Watch this. And presumably made that doll himself or bought it.
Yeah.
And the family just dunks on him. They're like, it's pretty bad, Steve. Yeah. And it's not great. It's not good.
I believe I believe everybody's first line in this episode, literally every person's first line in this episode is a dunk on Steve. Even when he goes upstairs and Cousin Eddie is hanging out, Cousin Eddie gives him a dunk as his first line.
It's like a whole house of Chandler Bings. The sarcasm is flowing. It's just a house of Bings.
He's getting binged nonstop.
He's getting binged up.
So Steven's like, wow, okay, well, everyone just kind of dogpiled on me for wanting to express myself via art. Fuck me, I guess. Boy, I wish I could get better. And this doll could just... I don't even remember the wording he said. I wish this doll would come alive and talk, basically, is what he said. Mm-hmm. And he goes to sleep.
Well, Eddie says you can't be good at everything, implying that is a desire that Urkel has.
Right.
To be good
at which is like, he's only really good at science, it seems like. But that's also not a lesson of the episode, right? It's not like, by the end of this, Urkel goes, you know what? I've accepted it. I'll never be good at ventriloquism. I'm moving on. I think it's more interesting that Stephen has two giant fathead cutouts of Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman,
which we have a prominent shot of. We start the scene upstairs on his cutouts of his fathead cutouts of Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman.
What are you calling them? Fathead cutouts? What does that mean?
Fatheads. It's the brand.
Oh, fathead was a thing in like the 2010s. I don't know. Okay. I'm sure it was not that back then. Just big old cutouts of stickers of athletes.
Their heads, just so you know, Kevin, their heads were normal size. They were not any bigger or
they weren't
rounded.
Like Funkos or bobbleheads. No. They just called them fatheads for some reason. We are not sponsored by fatheads. But I appreciated the love of Chicago, right? There's like Bulls merchandise everywhere, which is like this.
I mean, it's 1996, baby. Yeah, they're in the peak.
They're living their life.
Do you guys think that the prominence of wall-mounted fan memorabilia has diminished because the millennials move too much and it's easier to move plastic around in boxes than to pull stuff off the walls all the time.
That's a great point.
Damn, yeah, because we don't have walls anymore, man. All we can own is the space.
Yeah, we can't put nails or even tape on some walls. We got to get little plastic figures.
I like your philosophy.
I don't know. I like duct tape my Funko Pops all over the walls, just stitch them up there,
so they can't walk around at night when the toys come.
So they can't walk around and escape at night. Yeah, those little dead eyes.
Yeah, I bought a house. I bought a house and I started hammering those bad boys in.
Crucifying your Funko Pops.
And then also, like a voodoo doll, every one of those actors or celebrities feels that pain when I do it. When I put on my Ryan Gosling Funko Pop somewhere in LA, he goes like, ugh. So Steven's like, I wish this doll could talk. I'd be a better ventriloquist. Eddie kind of quickly mentions there's a storm coming in, leaves, and lightning shoots down through the window, an incredible arc of lightning.
Yeah. Strikes
the doll. It's not even like magic lightning, you know what I mean? It's not like
it's regular
colors or anything.
No, like I think normally in a cursed doll situation, the lightning would be brought about by maybe some sort of incantation or some sort of fated night, perhaps.
This is not quick lightning either. This is like he's radiating with Palpatine-esque lightning energy.
Yeah, this is
quite some time.
This is directed lightning.
God wanted this doll to come alive and strike down people. That's how I took it.
It's like a full 15 seconds of lightning. I was like, this lightning's going on for a while. Like, it's like one lightning strike, and then it's just like scattering over the doll body for a while. I'm like, we still going with this? Like, I guess I get paid, visual effects team, but like, that's some 90s lightning right there.
My favorite part of this too is that Urkel talks to Cousin Eddie and is like, I'm going to bed now. Lays down, turns off the light, goes to bed. The lightning strikes in, and then Urkel wakes up a minute after laying down and goes, "Oh man, lightning's getting in. I better go close the window so the lightning stops coming in."
Yeah, you go
through the window.
Gotta close the window to block the light.
The scientists at Urkel should have been like, wow, what a crazy weather phenomenon. I should hook up some sort of machine to capture the energy for my project tomorrow. But I think at this point, the writer's like, yeah, whatever. He's going to bed. He lays down. He doesn't put the sheets over him. He goes to sleep.
Why not do an Urkel Frankenstein pastiche? Like, why not have him try to bring his dummy to life? That would be actual hubris.
Yes.
Like, this way, it's just kind of like shit is happening. Like, random shit. Like,
I genuinely think the writers just didn't care. They were like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a haunted doll episode. Fine.
I do think that the writers took a little time off in this one. This one felt very this one felt like they were like, the doll's gonna carry this. And it did not.
Props
this is gonna take an entire day to shoot? Are you kidding me? I usually get to go home at 3 p.m. What are you talking about?
I had fun in this. I'm gonna try to bring it back up. It is like kind of a like throwaway crappy episode.
Don't get me wrong. I just I don't think the plot is really carrying this forward. We're fully on the shoulders of Tiny Steve Urkel puppet for this episode. Is all I'm saying.
Kevin, I'm being harsh in that I am thinking about how this is the 90s television. This was on like sitcom network TV.
Yeah.
The writers of this episode, Gregory Thomas Garcia and Fred Rubin. The director Richard Cornell.
Friends of the show. Yep, all of them have been on the show. Yep,
got paid so much money to make this mess of an episode. It's fascinating to me, but I enjoyed it. So Stevil comes alive, I think this is the difference from Slappy. And again, I bet someone was like, "Get me a Goosebumps book. Tell me what happens in that. We'll just do that." This is different. Where Slappy usually is like, oh, hey, new person, you are my slave. I am targeting on you specifically.
Right.
Stevil, hasn't even been named Stevil yet, is like, I love you, Steve. I just hate the Winslows.
Well, that's how we know this is a legally distinct puppet.
Oh, because he has a different motivation than Slappy?
Yes.
And I guess because the one time Steve brought him down to the living room and is like, look, Carl and wife and grandma, look, and they all just like, Steve, you're crazy, was enough for Stevil to go like, I want to murder them. I hate how they mocked you, Steve.
Well, I do think that is a clear, understandable motivation for Stevil, because as Stevil being the punishment, Stevil is a representation of Steven's ego. And And the Winslow family is constantly taking big haymaker blows at Steven's ego. And so now this is his wanted retribution on their ego blasts that they've been performing on him all episode.
Can I bring you guys back in with this tidbit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to call out the wiki too much. I feel like whoever edited this wiki for this episode had the same level of care as the people who made this episode. It is
Okay, wait.
Stream of consciousness. Yes.
I thought you were pro the people that made this episode, Chad.
I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I think it's cool that they were doing weird stuff. I think there's also some shoddy workmanship here on this dummy and this story.
The episode itself, the plot does not do much for us. We're purely here for doll goofs, for 21 minutes of doll goofs. Yes. You know?
And there are some doll goofs. There's some good
ones. There's some real good
I just want to call out, this is how the synopsis reads for this episode. Yeah. Is paragraph 2, we already covered this.
Yep.
And then a lightning struck the dummy and it moves like a plywood brain. And then Steve wakes up and closes his window and he sees the dummy moves his head like he was seeing hallucinations. And then his eyes were open and he goes back to sleep and he sees the dummy vanish off the chair and it pops up on Eddie's bed. And he said, "Hi," and Steve is totally in shock.
Hold up.
One sentence.
James Joyce? Is that you? Portrait of an Artist as a young man? The pioneering work of stream of consciousness literature? Is that you, James?
Yeah, we're playing with tense. We're playing with time. We're playing with perspective. No punctuation. Dude, fucking Ulysses ref in the middle of my Goosebuds podcast.
Wow, this is a smart podcast. So Steve is now having the beat of, I know you're alive, but no one believes me. The dummy is like, I'm going to kill the Winslows. Not even really because, again, like not like they mistreat you bad, Steve. It's just, I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't think he gives a reason. He just says he doesn't like them, right?
Yeah. He doesn't like them.
And I think it's this point, I don't know why I really fixated on it, but it stood out to me, was Steven goes like, you're really evil. And the dummy goes, evil? I like that. In fact, why don't you call me Stevil? Which is almost like the doll had never heard of the concept of evil before.
Or the word evil before. I love.
Yeah. It's like, I think it rhymes with my name. I think I'll be Stevil.
I think this moment was really, really missed by the studio audience because there are no laughs. They cover it up with lightning noises and a horror stinger. This is funny. This is funny stuff, people. You're missing it. And I think this was just too ahead of the game at this point here. I think it was ahead of its time.
It was too revolutionary.
Yeah. I don't understand how this would be filmed in front of a studio audience.
I don't know.
Because there's so many cuts. Like they're like what
that's why I think my theory is I think they filmed it and then showed it as a screening to an audience and recorded them. That's what I think they did.
I think they're just pulling sound clips from I Love Lucy, the one episode where Lucy makes a puppet of herself and Ricky doesn't like it.
But then that's very possible. Then I always think it's so fascinating when an editor is like, that joke wasn't that funny. It only gets 2 fake laughs. Like they are choosing the level of comedy landing on some of these.
Right.
Or every time Steve will cut to a little person in a suit moving around, you got like audience gasps. Like, oh! And it's a little scary because it's unsettling and unnatural.
I'll admit, I jumped the first time.
Got a little me pretty freaked.
Got a little...
It was uncanny, right? Because you don't expect him to move fluidly.
Yeah.
You don't expect him to move like that.
Yeah,
he can really go.
He's also moving a little awkwardly because he's in an ill-fitting suit and like what seems like a plastic mask with no breathing on it. So like you kind of feel like this kid is bumbling around. But Steve was like, "Let me go and kill them." Steve's like, "No," and. Is this where he tosses them in a trunk?
We don't see him toss them in the trunk on camera. In fact, I don't think it happens here.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just says, no, don't do it, and then leaves, maybe. And then...
We never see the trunk struggle, which I think we were robbed of.
But we do get a cool shot of the breaking out of the trunk, which is great. I don't know. I think...
he fist punches it like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. He just goes right through the coffin. and then knocks the lock off.
Yeah, he does the 5-inch punch. And
Stevil is free on Halloween. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I can't remember if this happens before, because the first 3 kills technically are he starts with the kill on the 2 nephews who I don't remember what their names are.
No, he kills Eddie first.
No, Eddie's
first to go.
You're right.
No,
you're
he
right.
does, yeah.
No, yeah. Eddie's reading a magazine. It's great. It's Halloween night. Eddie gives some candy out and sits down to read a magazine, something that nobody has done since 1996. He sits down, he reads a magazine, and then he hears a spooky voice coming from the fireplace, and then the head of Stevil pops out, which Eddie doesn't see, pops back in, beckons him to it, and then we have a great sequence of Eddie being sucked up the fireplace. I think that part rocks.
Maybe the only kind of decent joke was Eddie going, Santa?
Yeah.
Like, I guess there's like he should have said,
yeah,
Santa, you're here really early this year. But at the Eddie gets pulled up into the chimney, body unseen. We are hiding off a lot of the more gruesome parts of these deaths in ways.
Right.
Eddie's presumed bent into the chimney. His corpse will be found in 30 years by the new homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
We get like kind of a munching sound as well, and like some dust settling. There's no screaming. I'm like, did Stevil eat Eddie? Like, what is happening? Like, there's no screams. There's like no, and
he ate
like,
some of Eddie.
It's a cool, like, it's cool how like quickly they got him up the chimney as well. Like, that was actually kind of impressive that they like just hoisted him up the chimney that fast. But like, yeah. I don't know. It's at that point you're not sure if like the family's being killed or not. But no, apparently Eddie is just silently lodged in a chimney, and by not showing that, you're robbing that actor of a lot of funny moments. Like, I really like the guy who plays Eddie. He's probably like my favorite in the episode. Like, he had a couple of good scenes, and I just like him. He's cool.
He carries.
Yeah, I usually like Carl. Carl was kind of phoning this one.
This was a real what's his full name? Reginald
Vell Johnson.
Vell Johnson.
Vell. I always think it's Van.
I always think it's Van. He really did not put his all. Although I will say his kill scene is actually the best part of the episode for him.
Yes.
Oh, sure. We'll get to that one. So
the next scene is my favorite. The nephews are riding their bikes on a blue screen, which we learn in the making of. Which it didn't sell as that on camera. It just looked cool. They're riding their bikes, Stranger Things style, on Halloween night. They're being chased by Stevil in a small, like, Peugeot car. Peugeot.
I'm assuming that's Steven's iconic car that we all know about.
We all know about it at this point.
I assumed it was like implied, a Citroën or something.
Yeah. Like, some sort of like French or like some small little European car. It is heavily implied that he vehicular manslaughters those 2 children because their bodies are only seen later as disembodied heads. So I'm assuming he fully.
Oh yeah, so I was curious about what that means. So yeah, he runs them over. Richie and 3J, which I thought was a very cool 90s name.
Beats the shit out of 1 and 2J.
Yeah. I assume that means he shoots at least 3 jumpers a game. That's what I take from that.
Yeah,
I assume that's good.
It is unclear when we see them dead in Steven's room, because their heads have either been placed on top of the Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman, which they also had dressed for Halloween, so it's ironic. Or did he shove them through the wall? Like, did he mount their heads like their kills?
I thought, I think what it's being implied is that he is stuffing the bodies throughout the house, right? Because we have Eddie in the fireplace. We have the 2 kids inside of the Murphy bed on the wall. And then we go down to the kitchen. So now this is where I think he stuffs him into the box, right? I believe it is after this.
No, the box has already happened,
I
think. But he shoves him in the fridge, right? He's like, Steven's like, enough's enough, Stevil.
Yeah.
And he crams, the best physical comedy, he crams the body into the fridge.
That's after 2 more kills, like the mom and the lady.
Yeah.
Laura.
Laura.
Oh, is this after Estelle?
Yeah. He doesn't put him in the fridge until after that.
Yeah, so
because
Estelle's the more interesting one.
Does Stevil have power over wood? Is that what we're suggesting here? because there are a lot
like
of
a magneto for wood.
Yeah, like because there's a lot of wood-based stuffings.
Oh.
The clown thing is weird, but like the cabinet magic is weird, and the wall stuff is weird. I don't know if he was like incorporating wood elements into his victims, or if they were just working
That's
with
what
what
he
they
knows.
You're saying he's a woodaturge.
He woodbender breaks through the chest carrying him. I think Stevil has power over wood.
I agree. I would agree with that.
I could buy that.
Yeah. So actually, Chad, Estelle does not get an on-screen death. In fact, Estelle is left. Estelle, the only person who's nice to Stephen Urkel.
Oh, is Estelle the grandma?
That's the
I
grandma.
thought Harriet was the grandma.
She doesn't get killed. She does
No?
not get killed.
Yeah, no, Estelle has not seen the rest of the movie.
No.
The show.
No.
I wonder why.
Well, because she's not mean to Stephen Urkel. She's nice to him, and this is Stephen's
Didn't
ego.
she still kind of dunk on him a little bit? Wasn't she like, nah,
no.
that's bad?
No.
She
laughed. No, she
laughed.
laughed.
She loved the joke.
There's like a full-on like shot of her like doing a kind grandmotherly laugh.
And then it cuts to the wide, and it doesn't. This thing is so cut up. There are so many inconsistencies in people's performances across the whole thing because it's really great. Also, the first time we see Steve,
well, they had never shot a full day before.
I know
really
it was an
taxing
arduous day. I love that the first shot we see of Steve moving, you can see the arm on the bed behind him too.
You can, sometimes you can see the back of his like the kid's head through the mask. Like it doesn't fully seal in the back.
It's pretty incredible.
You guys have good eyes because I did not catch any of that.
I loved it. I loved seeing all of it.
Oh, I was taking vigorous notes. Flaw here.
I stepped into the magic circle. All right, like I was ready to believe in what these paid artisans were going to tell me.
I loved kind of similarly when. Sorry, I got the women's characters' names match up. So if Estelle is the grandma who lived.
Yes,
Harriet is Mrs. Winslow, the mother. Steve goes downstairs after now there have been multiple dead. I think honestly at this point Steve is handling this all pretty well. Like he's upset, but he's dealing.
Right.
Yeah.
But then he sees Laura.
Oh, he sees Laura.
Once he sees Laura,
love.
Laura is his love, and when he sees her chopped into 3 pieces and put into the cupboards of the kitchen, that's when he loses it.
But even then, he's kind of like glib about it.
Well,
he's like, yeah.
Well, it is a good.
Don't fall to pieces, Laura.
It is, some great puns, and it's a good bit too because Laura's doing physical comedy within the cabinets, and it's hilarious. It's the best physical comedy in the whole episode.
Was she tap her foot or?
Yeah, well,
like,
she does.
What?
She's like,
they do an extended.
She rubs her head, and the arm in the third one disappears, and it's well timed, guys.
Like delayed.
No, it's well timed.
It's
good.
At the end of the line, she's like, she pauses, and then the camera just lingers while whoever's doing the legs just slowly crosses her legs impatiently.
It's good. They did a good job.
The effect wasn't that good, y'all.
I feel like that cabinet kill is very Junji Ito. Like, like the close the cabinet. I don't want to be seen. Like that's how the scene ends. And then he does is like, you're just in the darkness with your own dismembered body.
Let me die honorably in these cupboards.
So fucked up.
But Laura again is also just like, well, this is my life now. Like this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Kevin. While this part of the episode was happening, I was like, I could be watching that new Uzumaki adaptation right now. I could be watching that, but instead, because this podcast, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
So Laura's dead. Steven's love is gone forever, and
we could watch good things on this podcast.
We could.
We're allowed. We're allowed.
We could make the shift to watching things we enjoy on the podcast.
I liked this.
We watched Pete and Pete, and then that was all we're allowed to have.
I had a good time.
We make the rules, though.
I think it's interesting that when Steve's down in the kitchen after he's processed Laura, actually, I think it's before. I forget the timing of this, but he suddenly realizes after talking to Stevil, and Stevil has gotten through the fridge and burst through on the back. He has super strength. Oh, there's a giant Jack-in-the-Box here. I had not noticed that here on this table until now. And inside the Jack-in-the-Box is Estelle, I guess, has been beheaded.
No, Harriet.
Put on
Harriet's in there. It's Harriet's head.
Jesus, I keep combining. I'm
so
sorry. It's Harriet.
It's okay. Harriet's head pops out, and this part is great because up until now we've had purely practical effects. This is our first computer-generated shot. They use a blue screen, and they create a beautiful shot of her head bouncing back and forth. It's weird. It's kind of stop-motion-y feeling. It's really strange, and it also, the best part of it is it limits their ability to shoot the scene once they pull out of it, because they can't film where Harriet would be in the scene. So they have like the back and forth shots, the insert shots of Steven and Stevil, and they talk to each other, and then they do this high angle downward shot of Steven picking Stevil up and carrying him over to the fridge to throw him in the fridge. It's incredible.
This is the part where I'm really being tough on Jaleel White because I love him because he's Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Uh-huh.
This is where I think his best comedic acting has been in the episode. Of the flailing and just kind of throwing that dummy in there, regardless of the damage it's going to do. I did have a moment during this where I was like, imagine this episode, this exact story, but with Steven played by the great Jim Varney. If this was an Ernest episode, he would have been like bringing it on all of these jokes. He would have been crushing it.
Oh, of course. Well,
that's all I want to say.
Well,
I miss Jim Varney. I miss him a lot.
Sounds like you're mad that the cake wasn't a pie.
Yeah, a little bit. I wish Ernest had shown up. Also, why not? Why not? He was a commercial character. Like, just let him show up. Hey, what's going on, Steven? You got a car needs fixing. You know what I mean? Let him do that. Best kill of the show is coming up.
Yeah. So he shoves them into the fridge. We hear a terrible rending noise. And he reopens the fridge only to see that the back of the fridge has been blown out. Great use of the sets here because they moved the living room set behind the kitchen set so that we could have the shot through the fridge to see that Stevil has escaped. He runs outside to see Carl hanging out on the couch like nothing.
Read a magazine.
Like nothing. Reading another magazine. The second time since 1996 that a person has read a magazine.
Well, there was a free magazine up for grabs because Eddie is gone.
Eddie's gone.
You got to read it when it's there.
Eddie's gone. He left the magazine. It's a Game Pro. You got to read it.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
good tips and tricks in there, and sometimes cheats.
See what those cartoon personas are great in games. I think it's fascinating that this is a decently small house. The Winslows are a modest family in Chicago. There has been murder all over the place, and seemingly every family member is unaware of the murders. Like Carl. Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, I guess we'll understand in a moment why, but Carl is very chill, being within feet of Eddie's dead body in the chimney, just hanging out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But we understand why in a moment, why Carl is so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
it's because he's a dummy. It's because the dummy made him a dummy.
He got dummied.
It's like how in Elden Ring, the Albinoric guy controls Selvus, and he's trying to control Ronnie. And it's like, how many puppets... How many puppets are going on?
How deep does this puppet hole go?
Well, speaking of puppet hole, I think it's interesting. Carl is not transformed into a dummy.
No.
And spoilers for Stevil 2, we will get a tiny model, tiny puppet Carl named Carlsbad that I'm very excited to cover with you guys.
What?
This is the corpse of Carl, or still alive Carl, implying that Stevil has his puppet hand up Carl's asshole.
Up his
I don't want to mean to be rough. That is what the show is implying.
Trenchant insight.
He's got him up the butt. He's got him up the butt. There's nothing else can be said about this. He's purely got him up the butt.
He's got him up the butt.
And they got him up the butt when Stevil reveals it is him puppeting Carl. I guess Carl could still be alive. I mean, thinking of the Junji Ito horror, Carl could be alive still, even with a puppet hand up his butt.
I think his soul is inside of the husk that he now is, screaming. Certainly. That's why this is the darkest episode of Family Matters.
The veil of life and death has been rent asunder. There's no longer a pure delineation between who is of the living and who is of the dead. Hell is open and all the demons run free.
And now they walk the earth. Yep. Hell has overfilled and now the dead walk the earth. Yep.
Yep. And now they're dancing.
My favorite shot of this whole episode is this face-off now with Steven versus Stevil.
Can you imagine being live on the set for your live filming of Family Matters, and the day you go to, you get to watch Jaleel White wrestle a dummy for hours?
Yeah. Badly
Hours.
wrestle sometimes a fake dummy, sometimes a little person wearing a mask.
You can just say actor, Chad.
Can
you can just say actor. Just say actor.
I mean, he's a little okay. A little actor wrustling around.
It's like saying black actor every time we talk about Urkel. You can just say actor.
Damn. Okay, I learned something today. I wanted to be respectful by calling it out every time, and then said I did the opposite. That's the horror of this episode. Can you imagine not just being in the audience, Paul?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being Reginald Vell Johnson?
Uh-huh.
You're on season 8 of this show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You've lost control of this, and you just filmed a scene where a puppet had a hand up your ass, and now you in character have to collapse on the couch and pretend to be dead as you watch Jaleel White and a puppet fight. Like, I don't know if you guys watched him in the scene.
Oh, yeah.
He is just staring off into the distance.
Yeah.
Like, what is my life? I gotta commit to the bit. I gotta keep playing along.
They had to put eye drops in after every take, for sure, because he is fish eyes open throughout this entire scene.
Just as they dance around the living room. It's really funny.
Yeah, and so he wrestles. He eventually pulls Stevil apart. Steven Urkel does. And, but then through demon magic or widowmancy or widow thurge, Stevil pulls himself back together and then chokes Stephen Urkel out on the couch next to Carl, to which Stephen awakes to realize it was all a bad dream, and cousin Eddie comes inside the room and finds him wrestling his pillow. He's
like, "Don't worry, your Michael Jordan fathead is still okay. It's fine. The kids aren't dead. The Bulls are still winners." But then, Kevin, sorry, you were about to say we get another fake out.
We get another fake out, and the dream is a dream because what's his name? Eddie's mouth opens and bees start pouring out, and
I wish. I wish. Oh.
That'd be so funny. Instead, this must have been a standards and practices thing. The fake out of this line, is Eddie is now a killer because he's like, "You sound crazy, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's things they can do to make you not crazy anymore." It feels like he's implying like trepanning or like a lobotomy.
Yeah.
So you think he's gonna pull out like a pick or like a knife or something. Instead, he pulls out a mixer, an electric mixer used for cakes.
Yeah, you could put like nails on that or something, or bedazzle it, or
anything
it's just
scary.
A regular mixer.
Anything scary, yeah.
It's just such a is this the best we had for a weapon here?
It's kind of scarier because it's just a regular mixer. Like if it was a demon mixer, like
it's scary because it's non sequitur. Because I have it's so chaotic that I'm scared.
But Steven wakes up. It was a double fake dream. By the way, I do want to call out that in that first fake dream or first fake reality, Steven has a full-on fourth wall break where he says to Eddie, like, "I'm in a third act horror movie break with a fake out."
Right.
Like,
right.
That's so. I'm just gonna say, Dan Harmon, you're not a genius with Abed. Steve Urkel did it first.
Steve Urkel did it first, baby.
He didn't come up with it.
Urkel did it first.
So Steven wakes up into a new reality.
Yeah, and I don't think anything really happens, right? He just says,
"No, there's more."
They reference that holidays give Urkel anxiety.
That's right. He makes a really weird statement where he says, because he talks about how he gets scared by the Easter Bunny, that the Easter Bunny kills him.
Yes.
Then he says he gets scared by
he thought the turkey was going to...
Thanksgiving, you dreamed the turkey stuffed
the turkey stuffed him. And then the third one is really strange because he doesn't say, he's like, "Well, on next Groundhog Day, I'm wearing steel pants," which I think, Chad, not to be rough, implies that the groundhog will go up his butt, right? Is that what's happening here?
I wrote down that exact note. That implies the groundhog is attacking his genitals or his holes. And that's why he's going to wear steel pants. I had that exact same thought.
Or his holes. Not my
But it
holes.
also means, like, Steven, do you think, like, if you're acknowledging that it's dreams, do you think your clothing, your steel pants will carry on into the dream world? Is that how that logic works? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a weird joke. It's a weird joke to make to end the episode on, but we get one lingering shot as they leave. Stevil's sitting in the chair, and I think he winks.
He doesn't.
He doesn't do shit. He doesn't do anything.
Did he not wink? I swore he winked.
No, he doesn't.
No.
I watched him. He doesn't do anything.
We went through frame by frame. He doesn't do crap.
I think I just filled in the blanks. I'm like, well, yeah, of course he's going to wake. He's still alive.
I
No.
wanted him to do something to like imply that we live in a magical universe, but I think they were really scared this was going to upset some kids, and and they didn't know how else to end the episode but a slow zoom in on the dummy, and like, yeah, that is when you make the dummy wink. But like making him not wink is kind of like more like artsy almost. Like it's just you. The horror is in your mind.
What do you think happened?
You know what they should have done is the Inception thing, where like you see his eyes start to move. You see the top start to tip over, but you're not sure if it does. At the end.
That's a good idea. I know nothing did happen. It zoomed in and it sat there for a second, and I waited. But you know what? It didn't. It went off, and I just said to myself, "Whoa, mama." That's a famous Urkel catchphrase. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you texted me that too. You just like I was watching too, and I got like a buzz out of the blue, and you just said, "Oh, whoa, mama," in the text. I was like, "Oh, I wonder what that's in reference to."
I think it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I was also confused by that. I think it's also kind of crazy that Stevil never says Urkel's catchphrase. Did I do that? But had the show gotten past that at this point?
I'm assuming so. He doesn't say any of his catchphrases.
Like you kill someone and then go, "Did I do that?" That's the joke. Like that's evil Steven.
I have a question. Was Urkel's voice always that high, or did it get higher in the later seasons?
I believe it was always that high, but I do, like I said, I think his energy is different in this. In the scene that he has in the middle of the episode with Carl, his most frequent, Eddie and Carl probably his most frequent work partners throughout this show, right? And clearly you can see it in the chemistry of them. I think in that, he's like kind of pontificating a bit to him, and he's kind of grandstanding about how this doll is definitely alive. And there is a chaotic Kramer energy to it that I think is a little strange. I think he's maybe seeing the success of what's happening over there on NBC, and he's getting a little he's feeling the heat of Kramer at his heels.
I can see it.
I think it is Jaleel White's voice. I'm trying to find the link to it, but I had read an article interview before where Jaleel White had said publicly that doing that voice for so long damaged his voice during puberty and had made it like irrevocably damaged and changed because of it.
I mean, I was like the one character actor at my high school, so I had to do crazy voices on stage, and it sucks ass because it will just fuck up how you talk. But like, I know the Jaleel White's Sonic voice, and that's like closer to his regular speaking voice, but it's also kind of like a half step up.
But still pretty similar, yeah.
But I thought it was funny giving the dummy like a deep, bassy voice. I'm sure they A/B tested a bunch of different voices, or maybe not.
It's kind of like
just like demon voice.
It kind of reminds me of Tim Curry and Legend. It's like that level of deep demonic.
Well, like, I guess you can't go higher. I guess you can't give him an even squeakier voice.
But you know what? I was waiting with tension in my body to hear that voice, because like they really play it up before he talks and says anything. And I was like, oh, what's he gonna sound like? And I was pleasantly surprised by his satanic depth in his voice.
Yeah, was he voiced by Jaleel White?
He was voiced by someone named Richard Correll. Was born in 1948.
Thank you for the birthday.
A bunch of stuff, like a movie called Ski Patrol. He is a writer on Hannah Montana, the movie.
Okay.
He directed this episode, Chad.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I actually somehow missed that name popping up. TV director. He directed like 32 episodes of Leave It to Beaver.
You mean this isn't his most prestigious work?
Yeah, and then one of his last roles was 2 episodes of Family Matters he directed, and a couple episodes of Sweet Life and Zack and Cody, and he was like, I'm done. No more.
Well,
that's kind of the episode.
Yeah, I think we've mattered, you know? I think we've mattered. I'm very curious because, you know, we have to know what happens in Stevil 2. This time it's personal. How there's a second Carl's doll. Like, is that also a dream? Because the audience is going to be, you know, caught up on that trick already. I think that means by this next season, it's going to be real.
I wonder what you do with this. And it's like one season apart, right? So, like, I wonder what they do with the second shot at this.
Yeah. I think we have to revisit Family Matters, right?
Yeah.
We simply must.
That's been a Goosebuds. Thank you all for this very chaotic episode. I hope you enjoyed this nostalgic look back at a horrifying, in many ways, TV episode. Paul and Kevin, thank you for joining me, as always.
Thank you for having us, I guess.
Thank you, Chad, for inviting us on.
We'll be back again. We have more stuff for October. Happy Spooky Month, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a good one.
Take a walk outside in the fall air. Breathe it and crunch a leaf.
And never pursue ventriloquism.
Never.
As a skill.
Or any of your dreams, honestly. Your ego will destroy you.
And hey, if you want to support the show, get access to bonus Camp Goosebud episodes. We have dozens upon dozens of those. Get access to our Discord to determine what books and TV shows we're covering next. If you want to see Stevil 2 sooner than next year, that's the way to tell us. Patreon.com/Goosebuds. Supports the show. We appreciate all of you. You also get your name in the Book of Names, which you'll hear coming up in a minute.
Yeah.
Do it.
Anything else, guys, you want to plug or push at? Continues, obviously, killing ass.
Killing ass.
You guys got Continue Quest doing UFO 50. It's been very enjoyable to watch.
Go watch us play. You can watch that on public Continue channel on youtube.com/Continue Show. And on our Patreon, our supporters have commented on the third episode that they would like to see more. We're playing another game called Small Saga. We should be done that probably in the next month or two. And I think we'll certainly be playing some more UFO 50. So if you want to see that, join us at patreon.com/Continue Show and go to youtube.com/Continue Show to watch some right now.
I want to see that.
See it. Go see it.
I'm a patron. I'm a patron of both Goosebuds and of Continue Show again.
Continue Show is a patron of Goosebuds.
Yeah.
It's a grift.
We're just cycling money. That's how the economy works. We're just
And Jack Conti is just reaping all of the 30% off of each of those.
Patreon's just getting free money off our idiot asses.
Of course, givekevinmoney.com.
Yeah.
Kevin, anything else people should check out?
The fall. Just go for a walk. Listen to Goosebuds on a walk. Have fun outside. I've been doing it more, and I think it's been good for me and my torments. So go outside.
Love you both. I'll see you next time.
Love you guys.
Love you, Chad. Love you, Paul.
Love you, Chad. Love you,
Bye.
Kevin. Love you, everybody else.
Love you, Paul.
I love the world.
Love you.
Now I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ooh, this episode of Goosebumps. Sorry. It's like bumps, not bumps. Ooh, this episode of Goosebuds was brought to you on the first take by our Patreon supporters. We'd like to thank everyone in the Book of Names.
The Book of Names.
Book of Names.
Starting with Stefan, Jive Turkey, Kuwabara.
Low Belly, Hate Me.
Hollis Hornbeak.
Michael McDowell.
Hey, Josh Rob.
Mickey C.
Nathan Dolezal.
Mike Lanteri.
Buddy Morrill.
Ailcade.
Mel Dipson.
Afsheen.
Dango Twist.
Zenticles.
Stealth, a beautifully fleshed skeleton Bates.
Robert Moon.
That one just worked. Brian Wells.
Jason Crooker.
Clay Castle.
Miguel Pardo.
John Keaty.
Gaff.
Bring back Paranoia Shop. # Justice for Shoppers.
What justice do you want? Juggalobolus, my head? You want me dead? Will that satisfy you?
Damn. I didn't know it would kill you to bring it back. Holy shit.
Would it kill him? Yes. Turns out, yes.
Turns out.
Gregory D. Warren.
Cody Redfield.
Bradford Coulter.
Aiden wants to be the ring bearer at the wedding. Ooh. Dude, we gotta speed up the wedding. Like, the wedding's gotta happen. We gotta get to the honeymoon.
Ice church wedding?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. It's been a long time in the making. Like all weddings.
It's been...
Jar Jar Slinks.
Chosen One.
Leviathan.
A band champ.
Jonas Engman.
Carl.
Anthony Mulberry.
What are we doing? The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Elusive Co-op.
Yanni Markovina.
It's weird how everyone just unsubscribed for the Book of Names next month. It's weird. Brooke X.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Christian Van Skipper.
Jeremy Lowe.
Rappin' Brian Hobgood.
Nice. Zach.
Oh.
Connor.
Joe, Spooky Digital Ghost. Tierney.
Young Tom Whittam.
Andrew Jadzik is happy to make some old fashions during the reception if anyone would like one. Have had one in real life.
Ooh.
It's good.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Fantastic.
No, I mean from...
Yes, please.
I've had one of Andrew's is what I'm saying.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
It's good.
Lord Cornwallis.
Can I get one mailed to me? Please?
Yeah, I can just put it in an envelope and just send it.
Carson Birkenbean.
Murph Epp.
Sean Minogue.
Devin Ticklebean. 2-finger points at his eyes, points at you, points at his eyes, points at a distant apple man, takes a breath. Ugh.
What does that mean? What is the distant apple man?
Let's go get that apple man.
That distant apple man sent a chill down my spine. You can't fuck with an apple man, dude.
No, we're going after him.
Is it like a scarecrow? Kind of like a man made of apples?
You never rush down an apple man. It's not a DPS race. We gotta assign roles. We gotta get a firm tank.
Lies. We're Rusty Glenning him.
Okay, I'll disrupt.
Luke.
Chip Handsome.
Matt McClellan.
Tanya Turtle.
Juan Jalapeno.
Keith Alcrow.
Timothy Misudalakis.
Ham_boat.
Raymond Hernandez.
The Crow Fence, but seasonal.
Matthew Sutton.
John Barber.
Chef Coffee.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
I like a little Kinnaman in my coffee. Tobias Clark.
Russell Kasberg.
Xavier Jimenez Castillo. Wow.
I like a little Chris Boutrakis in my Castilla.
Scotty Pippen.
Dungeon Kappa.
MC Hamster commits his body to the ice.
Cool.
Yes, do it.
The ultimate commitment.
Literally cool.
Dig him out. Dig out the entity.
His body has warmth, so it's melting the ice.
No. Zach Weir. We'll kill him so his body's cold.
Limp Duck.
Sarah Camp.
Meet Virginia.
Jonas Waterman.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Estamena, Lord of Paul's Pants.
Oh, I love saying this one. Chris, handjob ghost that came out... Sorry, I was too excited. Chris, handjob ghost that came out the TV, Nelson.
It's a nice ghost. Streak.
Kieran McNamara.
I like it because it's dual meanings.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, it can come out the TV. Or diet soda.
Oh, well, in one meaning, it's kind of rude. Paul Grasso.
Any of these ghosts just like burst out of the walls and just jizz everywhere? Just ask him. Not trying to ruin anyone's day. Not trying to give them the worst day of their lives.
Worst day of their job. I'm not trying to make anyone have the worst day of their job.
Joe, regular name Scott.
I think I should leave. Lamb.
Coleman Lagusa.
Shag, Marry, Kill, Edition 2. Plant Dad, Scarecrow, Mermaid. I mean, I guess just Goosebumps ones. Marry Plant Dad.
Marry Plant...
Kill Scarecrow.
Wow, okay.
What? He's providing for me.
He's providing for his plant son.
I'm killing Plant Dad.
Oh my god, and I'm gonna bone Mermaid.
Kill Plant Dad. Yeah, I'm shagging Mermaid, and Scarecrow will marry. Scarecrow probably gonna be a little abrasive if you try and shag. So kill Plant Dad.
The Scarecrow comes at midnight? That one? You're gonna marry that one?
You see how bristly that guy is?
Guys, marry Scarecrow. He's got a job and he's good at it. He's outstanding in his field.
They've never
That's very funny.
stopped using them. They've been using them for hundreds of years.
A pair of Scots.
Jonas Enevoldsen.
Levi Kidder.
David Gray.
Bryce Diori.
Matthew Purtado.
Luke Knoodles.
Hugh Bolin.
Zambambino.
Some of Chad's bird friends chirp, listen to Camp Goosebuds to learn about Mickey Rourke's bird.
It's true.
Ah, the meatloaf.
Joe Gorman.
Burger's unfortunate divorce from the entity and the rest of the polycule.
I'm sorry to tell you this, Burger. The church doesn't recognize divorce.
But don't worry, there's plenty of entities out there to marry.
Yeah, you can get married to more people, but you can't divorce yourself once you're married.
Chad doesn't want to unfreeze the entity. Chad doesn't want to recognize divorce, man.
What can you do in Ice Church?
You can skate on the ice.
Nicholas Maloney.
Me, Andre Villanueva.
Thomas Jancis.
Eric Horwitz.
Tiffany Leah.
Lucretia MacEvil.
Mutant Astronaut.
Need more kimchi.
Henry Torbert.
Adam Knapp.
Reed Stub Indiak.
Yoey Evans.
Jorgen Derby.
Ranch Mielzer. Swaggy Yellow Squire.
Cameron Hansen.
Caleb. Monster Misfire West.
Ooh. Bendy Nasty.
Yoplin.
Generally depressing.
The Deadly Bulb.
Philip Reynolds.
Ben Bohan.
Nate Bit G.
Ryan R. Davis.
Scott Wabell.
Resident Lorcana guy.
Ev Dog.
Calamity Carol.
Gluten-free Rocky Mountain oysters.
All of a bite. Greg Mustow.
Stinklich.
Dr. Diarrhea.
Gorgeous Ryan Carroll.
Tacky Tammy.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Hiya, first time, long time.
Sprinkle Buns.
Ninja Breadman.
Hello to Kiss Franklin.
Aaron Lord.
Dr. Chocula.
Oily _Suds.
Mike Hart.
Robot Arena.
SSJ Trogdor.
Cassandra Harris.
Max Boltzmann.
I like Cassandra Harris was the secret. It's like if you listen close, you get a Cassandra Harris in this episode.
That's a beautifully sibilant name.
Woo, sibilants, big McLean.
Kira and Brian are big fans.
Secret bag.
Dan Antonio. One of those were secret.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Farrah.
What was that?
Is my cat here? I just feel like I have a cat. Quest Goblin Grader.
Postmaster.
Chris Curto.
Cole Gleason.
Jesse Boggs.
Michael McLoy.
What?
Kyle O'Neill.
What did I say?
Well, he started saying Michael McDowell, and then you shifted into Michael Malloy, I think.
Yeah, I think I just put a little, put a little Southern charm on that Malloy.
Yeah, that's just some Southern charm when you do that.
A little Malloy Malaise, yeah.
Red Baron.
Time eats flesh.
Soggy Newspapers.
Chris Kulik.
Dakota Camp.
John W.
And name number 173, Anthony Stoker.
Brony Danza.
From Philly, Tan Your Hide wants more pretend friends in Goosebuds RPG, so do we.
I want it.
Give it to me.
Saturn Video.
Wonder Skin. Secret Skin.
Max's war cry is Muppet noises. Which Muppet noises?
Wonder Skin.
Kiwi of Blurb.
Skeet Door.
Hurt. AKA Cyberbully.
Secret Hurt. Phil Force, prophet of Paul Christ.
Whoa.
Whoa, hold on now, hold on.
Cool.
Didn't tell you guys, but Jesus, my brother.
Whoa, fuck. I knew it.
Oh my god. Oh, this makes so much sense.
Big
This
reveal.
explains why I never met him, and you never introduced me.
You're always ripping out parts of your body and forcing me to eat it. Ugh. Blarbin.
Logan Kilgis.
No, wait, Logan is Kevin. We've messed it up.
No, I'll just say Ferratu, Vampire at Law, and then we'll get back to normal.
Jesus.
Starship 9.
Kit Bush.
Sirasin.
Dennis Wright.
I'm scared of Kevin today. Jover the Moon.
Got an energy today, Chad, and I apologize for it. Christopher Boyce.
Okay.
Cameron Ganzeveld.
Dacious the Goon, formerly Goon Cahoots. I love the name updates. That's so helpful.
Yeah, we should be daisy chaining all of the names together constantly until we reach the character limit.
Yeah, like a dwarven lineage. Always tell us all of your previous
All
names.
Please.
I am known in some circles as Goon Cahoots. But to the elves, I am Dacious the Goons. Rat IRL.
Daniel Hirschberger.
Matt Septor.
Greg and his Gregorian chanting army of metal monks pledge their shred to Kevin. That's me.
Problem Child 2 on DVD.
Cool.
No, never made it to Blu-ray. B.
Jeff Big Baby and his wife, not a big baby.
The wife's my favorite.
Odins _ hole.
S? Wait, why did I say S?
Wait, no, I go. Yeah.
No,
what
yeah,
happened?
no,
You do
Chad,
Elodie.
Chad, you say S.
S.
Okay, and then Kevin, you say Elodie. Elodie.
And then Paul say ant, period, honey.
Tiraku, the thing that goes doink in the anime.
Clint Deer King.
And number 208, Agent Miskatonic.
We love all of you. Spencer Y.
Dale 7.
Hey Pelican, capybaras are friends, not food.
3 a.m. sleep.
Ben. Floyo Sayer.
He got there. He did it.
Got it. You nailed it.
He said it.
That's the hardest part of my job, honestly.
It's I fear it every month. Edgar Gracious.
What is?
I don't know. I was psyched up about the one name before it, and I couldn't say it, and I got it in my head about the second one.
Little Southern Reagan on that one. Edgar crazy.
Crisis. Bub Cabbage.
Not my cabbages. J-Far's Ice Mall isn't doing too great, but he's keeping it open because it's important to have a space to exist without needing.
I really appreciate that, J-Far. Also, kids love liminal space horror stuff now, so it's good you're doing that.
I don't know what he needed, but it just ended on without needing. It's a powerful
No, I get it.
statement.
It's like without a space you don't need, but you want to have.
Yeah, I would rather not
That's how I
need
take
anything. Yeah, and I guess the mall.
That's the point of a third space. It's an optional space.
I don't know what it means, but it made me feel a lot of feelings that I wasn't expecting to feel hearing that. Jolly old Jules.
Number 1 gnome.
The Shrekronomicon.
Angelo Edward Longton Santone.
Smelodies.
Geech.
Spencer Lee Johnston.
Caleb and Michael watched Transformers 5, and it was so bad they are now seeking political asylum in Cuba with the rest of the Transformers?
Who knows?
I think the Transformers did go to Cuba at one point. I don't know. Bumblebee killed Hitler. That's also established.
Oh, sick.
I had to put together that Bumblebee as a robot. Just because.
What? You didn't know?
No, I did, but
He's the favorite robot.
he's all right. MC Wright has finally found out how to change their name in the Book of Names through the help of the community, and also Chad, who is separate from the community for some reason, but okay.
I'm winking and pointing at you, MC Right. Good job.
Bless the community. Taylor Garofalo.
Nowhere Lucas.
Lumo Nuva.
Brian Udath.
Tall Glass of Dumb Bitch Juice is now married!
Hey!
Congratulations!
Congrats.
Nintendo 60 jorts.
Daniel Hirschberger.
Tig Ass Biddies 007.
Complex.
Mimel the Spooky Delph converts Chad's football career, ending Corvette into a Dragula. What?
Yeah! That's a spooky car! Get Chad off the football field!
CL Reagan wants Corn Nuts Ranch, please.
Ooh, I love corn nuts. Adam G.
Treehouse of Jorge 3, Season of the Witch.
Justin.
Jim Corey.
Jackie Bay.
Jay Bird.
Carly Beth's parents, 808. I don't have a bit this time. Go see The Wild Robot while it's still in theaters. It's actually such a go.
Such a go.
It is such a go.
I've heard it's such a go. A Yeti in the hand is worth 2 Bigfoots in a bush. I love
true.
that.
That's a true ass statement.
Toten Watson.
Wyvern.
Angus Keith.
Shelly Castillo Garcia.
Nat. Noah.
Big Ol' Dumb Bird hopes rice is thrown at the wedding. Is Big Ol' Dumb Bird married to Big Ol' Dumb Bitch Juice? Like, are they the two that are getting together?
Maybe, but don't eat the rice, Bird. It'll explode your stomach. Felix.
Yeah. Just that's why I throw ice cube. We'll throw ice cubes at the wedding.
Actually, it's more thematic and safer.
Yeah.
Wait, no, then everyone's slipping on the...
No, it's fine. We all stand still for about 30 minutes while it melts outside the ice church. We're good.
Cameron Murphy. I wonder how much they know about audio.
Daniel Lavelle.
Quinn ba ba ba. That's how I say 3 exclamation points.
Thanoshack.
Damn. Chaos Duncan on all of us. Nathan Galindo.
Bitch show.
Patrick Nielsen.
Wolf CIA can't cater the wedding if booby traps. There will be booby traps.
No Wolf CI bagels at the wedding then. J. Fen Crane.
Damon the Demon.
Eric.
Andrew.
Lee Murphy.
Lee Murphy.
What?
Sorry, I got thrown this. You know what? It's fine. You said it, Paul. Steam Tam. One singular Steam Tam.
Caleb Snyder's Pal Nye Mike sees what? What?
Okay, no, you got this. You got this. Okay. There's a period there that's not specified.
Caleb Snyder's Palnya Mike CPS Transformers 5 bad.
Oh, no, you're right. It is incomprehensible.
They're just trying to break us now. Mike C.
Ari or Ari. Let us know. How am I supposed to say that?
Respect me, daddy.
Kid Chaos. Herald of many demons.
I play the fuck out of Sega Genesis Kid Chaos. Ventus 13.
Devin Dallin.
Ben Little.
Dusty Burger.
Morgy Porgy Puddin' Pie.
Autumn. Autumn.
And welcome to the Book of Names. Haptic. I love your controllers.
Welcome, Noki Station.
And hello, Violent Sack.
Woo!
Woo. Thank you all so very, very much. We love you.
We love
Thank you! Woo!
$25-minute Book of Names.
Woo! Killing it.
Woo, that was a crazy one.